A very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast Rundown and I'm your host, Theruni Karunaratna. Our top story this morning is good news to all motorists as the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has decided to revise fuel prices effective midnight yesterday. Accordingly, the price of octane 95 petrol reduced by 6 rupees per litre, bringing the new price to 371 rupees. The price of super diesel has also been reduced by 6 rupees per litre, with its new price now standing at 313 rupees. The prices of octane 92 petrol, auto diesel and kerosene remain unchanged. Now, interestingly, we have several stories regarding Sri Lanka's railway system on our breakfast rundown this morning. Let's start off with a follow-up to the recent strike action launched by the Railway Station Masters Association. The association says that if no solution is provided for their issues, they will launch a train strike tomorrow. Now, the chairman of the Railway Station Masters Association, Sumedha Somaratna, says that the discussions held yesterday concluded without any favourable resolution. On the 30th of October, the trade union action was initiated, citing several issues related to promotion and also recruitment. As a result of this strike, tickets were not issued at many railway stations across the island. Meanwhile, the Department of Railways says that the lack of maintenance of train engines and also compartments is the main reason for train derailments that have been reported so far. Deputy Director of Traffic MJ Indipolage says that this situation has arisen due to the shortage of railway workers to maintain the railway lines and spare parts for trains. Deputy Director of Traffic also spoke about the reasons behind the train derailments occurring along the up-country railway line. Now, he says that the prevailing monsoon conditions and the imbalances on the railway lines are two of the main reasons behind these train derailments. In addition, he cites the abundance of bends along the up-country railway line. Now, Indipolage says that although it is shorter length trains that should go along such railway lines, it's usually longer trains that did run along the up-country railway line. Well, speaking about train derailments, that brings us to our next story this morning. Train travel along the coastal railway line has been limited up to Gingtota. This is due to the derailment of the Ruhunu Kumari train in Gingtota, Galle. The Railway Operation and Control Centre says that it has not yet been possible to complete the derailment activities. They say that this will lead to a further delay in train journeys along the coastal railway line. To give you some context into this incident, the Ruhunu Kumari train, which was en route to Mathura from the Maradana railway station, was derailed last evening in Gingtota, Galle. Now, following Sri Lanka's economic crisis, the country has been particularly interested in attracting foreign investment to the country. In one of its latest developments in this regard, the groundbreaking ceremony of Shield's new seatbelt factory in Sri Lanka took place yesterday in Gampaha. Attending the event, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chong, said that the factory's decision to shift its facility in China to establish a manufacturing facility here in Sri Lanka is a testament to the growing interest of U.S. investment in Sri Lanka. Let's listen to what she had to say.
Shield's decision to establish a manufacturing here in Sri Lanka, to move it from China to Sri Lanka, is a testament to the growing interest of U.S. investment here. The United States is already the largest export market for Sri Lanka, and it's wonderful to see greater U.S. investment directly coming here. We need to have more bilateral, both ways, trade and investment between our countries. I'm very excited about seeing more of that trend. And manufacturing moves like this one, driven by customer demand to diversify supply chains, they represent a great opportunity for Sri Lanka. That the new government can continue to strengthen the investment climate, strengthen implementation of anti-corruption measures, and address transparency. This could even be a greater potential for more companies to come, manufacture, and invest right here in Sri Lanka. You know that phrase, if you build it, they will come? I believe they will come. And that means more jobs for Sri Lanka, more prosperity for everybody, and more research and development as well. The partnership between Sri Lanka and the United States is built on shared goals and mutual respect. from boosting farmers' crop yields to strengthening Sri Lanka's maritime security. So we are driven, I'm driven every day when I wake up towards this common vision. How do we work together to improve people's lives, foster economic growth, and ensure regional stability? So this groundbreaking ceremony is a great moment, but a greater moment than just the opening of a facility is to renew our dedication to these shared goals, building stronger, inclusive communities and thriving local economies together. We look forward to witnessing the positive impact this factory will have on the local economy for jobs and fostering more innovation.
Meanwhile, the China Aid Training alumni reception took place in the presence of the Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka. Speaking at the event, the ambassador said that in the next year, the Chinese government will fully consider the development needs of the new Sri Lankan government. Let's listen to what the ambassador had to say.
China's foreign aid training is a concrete actions to implement global development initiatives raised by our President Xi Jinping, and are important measures to promote the building of the community with shared future for mankind. China's foreign aid training adheres to the concept of sharing, consultation, and co-construction, building a platform for countries to exchange experience in governance and fully shares the successful experience of Chinese modernization. Since China launched foreign aid training program in 1950, it has trained more than 510,000 people for developing countries. The Chinese government attaches great importance to all-round educational cooperation with Sri Lanka. Over the years, it has used foreign aid fund to hold various training programs in China, inviting nearly 13,000 Sri Lanka friends of various circles to participate in seminars in China. By end of October this year, more than 1,000 Sri Lanka participants went to China for training, and the training topics covered 17 major areas, including public management, scientific research, information, technology, economy and trade, education, health, agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry and fishery, resources and environment, and disaster management. Through mutual learning and exchanges, we have grown together and deepened the traditional friendship between our two countries. In the next year, the Chinese government will fully consider the development needs of the new Sri Lanka government, improve the pertinence and effectiveness of a training program, and welcome more participants to visit and study in China.
Well, we're off to the start of a brand new month. Today is the 1st of November 2024, and that places us exactly 13 days away from the 2024 general election. Today marks the second day designated for postal voting for the general election. Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sriratnayaka says that all necessary arrangements are in place to facilitate the voting process from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. He adds that over 738,000 state sector employees are eligible to exercise their franchise at the postal vote for this year's general election. The Commissioner General of Elections also says that having a valid identification card is mandatory for all postal voters. Meanwhile, police spokesman DIG Nihal Taldua says that a special security plan is in place at all polling stations, facilitating the postal voting process. Also, Rohan Hettiarachi, the executive director of PAFRO, confirmed that steps have been taken to deploy 1,000 election observers to oversee the postal voting process. Additionally, another delegation of international election observers are here in Sri Lanka to oversee the 2024 2024 general election. Rohan Hettiarachchi, the executive director of PAFREL, noted that election observers from the European Union have already initiated their observing activities. Meanwhile, a special holiday has been declared today for government Tamil schools in the Uva, Central, Sabaragamuwa and Southern provinces. Now, this decision was made citing the Diwali festival that was celebrated with much grandeur by the Hindu community around the world. Provincial education directors say that Saturday, the 9th of November, will be a school day instead. Let's move on to your weather update for this morning. The Department of Meteorology says that atmospheric conditions are favourable for afternoon thunder showers over most parts of the island. The Met Department noted that showers or thunder showers will occur over most parts of the island during the evening or night. Now, heavy showers above 100 millimetres are likely at some places in the Uva, Eastern, Central, Sabaragamuwa as well as the northern provinces. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the coastal areas of the northern, eastern and northwestern provinces during the morning as well. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Well, let's now move on to news overseas, and today it's tragic news coming in from Spain. At least 158 people have died in Spain's worst flooding disaster in generations as rescuers battle odds to find survivors. On Thursday, more than 1,200 workers aided by drones were deployed to the rescue mission as rains continue to threaten parts of the country. Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, told victims in a visit to affected communities that right now the most important thing is to save as many lives as possible. But in some of the towns worst hit in Tuesday night's floods, people were left to task of recovering bodies from the mud and wreckage. At least 155 deaths were recorded in Valencia, while another 2 have been recorded in Castilla-La Mancha to the province's west and another, a British man, in Andalusia. In Valencia, where a river burst its banks, at least 40 deaths have been reported so far. Now, officials haven't disclosed the number of people still missing, but said there are many. And as the toll rose by about another 60 deaths yesterday alone. More than 90 deaths were recorded on Wednesday alone in the immediate aftermath of the torrential rains and flash floods, which largely affected Valencia, as well as Castilla-La Mancha and as far south as Malaga. The town of Chiva near Valencia received the equivalent of 1 year's rainfall in just 8 hours, according to the Spanish Meteorological Agency. As further rain warnings were issued for the south and east of the country yesterday, Spain's King Philip VI warned that the emergency was not still over, and Prime Minister Sanchez warned citizens to take shelter when necessary. Well, with that tragic news, unfortunately, we conclude today's edition of the Breakfast Rundown with me, Thiruni Karunaratne. I will see you again on Monday, that is the 4th of November 2024, with more of the very latest. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.